Hey there everyone, it's Max Clausen, and it's been a little while, but I'm back to you guys with an updated deck profile that I brought to the Philly Regionals. I would have done this the night of, but you know, if you come back from a regional or YCS, you'll be burnt out, tired, and I was tired for the 2 days, so that's why I'm getting this deck profile out to you guys now. And you know, big shout outs to my boy Kamon coming in 6th place with his deck profile. You know, shout out to you, bro. You did it. You hand ripped people all day, and you know that got you the games. But it was really enjoyable. Met some cool guys, new faces, learned a whole bunch of stuff. So, and I think I did pretty well. But in the future, I probably won't be going with this deck profile. Well, not with this version of the deck. And if you can't tell, obviously in front of you, it is Chimera, but it is the Melodious Chimera version. And I gotta say, you know, my record was 4-4. You know, we did show up late, so we got a round 1 loss. And afterwards, I was doing pretty well. I can't really remember all my duels off the top of my head, but the first was Centurion. Another one after that was, I believe, Snake Eyes. I really destroyed that one. And then a few other ones I can't, as I said, remember off the top of my head. Wish I was doing a little vlog or whatever, but you know, you can't record at regionals or YCS. But I'm rambling, let's get onto it. The deck, the main deck, extra deck, and side deck. And if you can't tell from my 2 cool fuel sensors here, did meet the boy MBT, you know, the palest boy ever, the flu player himself. If you follow my community tabs, you'll see I met him. He's pretty cool, pretty chill. So, you know, shout outs to you as well, man. Nice meeting you. For starters, we got our illusion monsters of Diabelle's, the original Sin Keeper. She is the best floodgate. Oh yeah, one of my other decks I did fight was Tempai, and summoning this against them, they literally just cannot really play as well because they can't activate their continuous spell, their quick play spell rather. And you know, if the opponent sets something, you can destroy 1 card on your field and 1 card on theirs. So, and of course, this also hinders a lot of other decks because they would need a certain card to go off immediately. But while she's up, you can't. You have to place spell and traps down before you can activate them. Next, we have the 2 Nightmare Princes, the best illusion monsters, second to Diabelle's. Well, probably first, but that's neither here and there. Discarding a card for cost to summon her from your hand and a non-summon. She adds 1 illusion monster from your deck to your hand. You would always use her to get Coatl, and if you didn't have Coatl already, you get Mirror Sword Knight, or even Master Tao. And then we played 2 Big Wing Berthamet, pretty self-explanatory, and then, you know, the 2 Big Wing, the 3 Mirror Sword, the 3 Gazelle. I actually opted to play just 2 Cornfield Coatl because the only targets we have for this card are these 8 right here. So it doesn't really make sense to max out on 3 of this card. I mean, its targeting protection from the graveyard is nice, but it's very far in between in some matchups. And besides, you can always get to this by summoning her, so you've already got like 5 Coatls in the deck essentially. Or even more than that, because Gazelle is a card. And the last card we do have is the Master Tao. One of the best, 3rd best illusion card probably. When it's set to the graveyard, you revive one of your illusions back from the grave, but you're locked to summoning illusions from the graveyard for the rest of the turn after that resolves. So, big continue power play or extender. Now for the Melodious stuff, you play the 3 Refrain, the 1 Brick and a Couplet, and the 1 Tam. Refrain on summon, get you a Melodious from your deck, so you use it to search Couplet. Couplet's effect is basically popular when it's added to your deck with a Melodious card. You can summon 1 from your hand or graveyard. So the combo would be use Ostinato, send this, and Tam, summon out a Refrain effect, get Couplet's effect, get Tam's effect, get Polymerization. So it's pretty much all of that there. I believe she had another effect. She does. it's a little burn effect. I never really used it, so you know it's there if you do want it. And then the last card monster we did play is the 3-edged chain. I did decide to bump this up because I have been seeing deck profiles and learning more as I play the deck myself. Don't get it wrong, you can always learn more about your own deck just by playing it more. And I realized that having things that search out your fusion based card are very important for this deck and important for any fusion based deck. So decided to play 3-edging. That's it for all of our monsters. Let's go into the spells. Apologies for my voice, I am a little bit under the weather. We have the 3 Chimera Fusion, the 3 Patchwork, and the 3 Ostinato. These are all of some of your most important cards. Chimera Fusion helping you dodge card targeting effects. 5 for Patchwork to get you your edgems and your poly. And the 3 Ostinato, which is your branded fusion, not a hard one to turn, so it makes no sense for the opponent to ash this. Then I played the double triple tactics talent, just in case I did get hand trap at some point. I could just use this, rip a card from my opponent's hand, summon Chimera, rip a card out of their hand to the extra decks. Pretty good combo. We do play the 2 polymerization, sadly only the 1 prismatic ultimate, but I will be upgrading the second one eventually. Sad face couldn't find the second one at the regional. The 1 call by and the 1 Melodious Concerto. You can fusion summon for a fairy monster by using cards you control in your hand or stuff in your pendulum zone. And when your Melodious fusion monster hits the graveyard, you can put this card back in the bottom of your deck and then draw a card. The last card I am playing is the one and only Infinite Impermanence. As you can pretty much see, the main purpose of this deck is just to go all gas, no like hand traps to slow us down. Just because there are times where it's like I have to discard a card to stop the to use an effect, or if I want to use a fusion material, you know, I probably would have to use something from my hand to go into one of my other extra deck cards. So just all gas, not anything else. Now to go into the extra deck. For the extra deck, I did play the 1 Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts, and the 2 Burly. The way this ratio has changed up is pretty interesting, because there are oftentimes if you don't have 2 Burly, you play 2 of this, but if you have 2 of this, you only play 1 of this. And this one's effect is honestly a little better at the end of the day for your plays, because he Foolish Burials a card from your deck to your grave. And this, you know, is just only good for the one-time hand rip effect, but it is also good that when your opponent's turn, they both share the effect where you can banish them and summon something from somewhere. So Chimera, he will summon a Beast, Fiend, or Illusion from your graveyard during your opponent's turn. And Burly will banish himself to summon a Beast, Fiend, or Illusion from your banishment zone. So you would summon this back just to get it back in rotation. And I do have the idea of running Burial for different dimensions, so sadly I couldn't really find any hollow copies of that at the regional. We played the 2 Baka for the Melodious plays. The 1 Odd-Eyes Vortex Dragon, the 1 Magnum Reliever, the 1 Chimera the Illusion Beast, and the 1 Guardian Chimera. Next we have the Chaos Angel, the Odd-Eyes Absolute Dragon, the Cross Sheep, the Little Knight, Exceed the Pendulum, and Appaloosa Lord the Goddess for the general and board negation. Obviously you can go into this using Nightmare Apprentice and Mirror Sword Knight in those random chances, and it's something you can be going using Chimera's effect because it is a fiend, and on special summon it gets its effect to banish something off the field, which is a pretty good effect. Never came up, but it's still good to have that option there in the extra deck if you know what I mean. Now for the side deck, I feel like the side could have been a little better because, in honest speaking, I never really had anything good that would be a good side or main deck thing against, I believe, Tempai. So I had some good cards, but you know, it's an OTK deck. So I opted to play the 3 DD Crow, the 1 Tiger Wanghu for the Snake Eyes and yugioh matchup, and if I ever win against any Purelies, still a good card for there. And the End of Anubis, which would pretty much keep your opponent from using any branded monster cards against you, being that actually Bestials, mind you. So while this is on the field, neither player is basically Necro Valley, so anything that involves a graveyard is null and void, so they can't Bestial any of your cards away. But in the same sense, you can't use any of your effects, but if you summon this out, you're trying to control the field temp and grave tempo. Next, we do have the 3 Cosmic Cyclone and the 1 Feather Duster just for back row hate, and the 1 Change of Heart if I did go up against any Snake Eyes and they go first, do their combos, end on the Appaloosa. The idea was that I use Change of Heart, steal it, now I have Omni Negate free, and I can stop their plays at any point in time with her, so that's there for that. The 3 Evenly, just because Evenly is still a pretty powerful card. The 1 Symbol Archfiends, so at the time of me putting this, well, this was in the main deck as one of, but I didn't have Archfiend Eris, but now I do. After the whole regional thing, after I dropped out of the regionals, I did managing to find someone having it. So crazy how old cards like that are hard to find, but now that we have Archfiend Eris, we can just comfortably play this at 1 because on Send of Archfiend, with Eris, she gets any Archfiend card, this and that, so I may just main deck this and her, to be completely honest. And the last card we do have is the Anti-Spell Fragrance, just because with this and Diabelle space up on the field, I don't really have to activate her effects at any point when they set a card. Only if they set a field spell, that's when I'll go, okay, get rid of that, get rid of this, and you know, continue to play from there. But that is going to be the end of my updated Chimera Melodious deck profile. Had a brain fart of it there. Hope you guys did enjoy. I want to give a shout out to all the people that I did meet at the regionals. So if you do see this, you know, shout outs to you, my opponents, to all the judges that kept the place fair and balanced and kept things under control, and for meeting, well, one of the only other YouTubers. And congrats again to Kamon and to Pac, who did come first place. You know, both of you guys are really cool. And I will see you guys in the next deck profile.